I think the point of this video is I'm just trying to say the things that were on my mind at that time and how I kind of like got through it. Hi, Tobi here. I don't know if I should do this intro, but okay. I'm just an everyday girl doing life like everybody else. I just want to talk quickly about the troubles or struggles that we have as Christians. So I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to like give my own or share my own experiences. So usually I'm a hard guy when I'm going through like life or something is going on. I'm just like, it's a sort. Oh my sort, alright, to be fine, right? But sometimes it's very hard to even like just go through. Sometimes it might even be the small ones that we just want to be the Goliath that will now come against you. But this year I've been through so much, and God has just been there for me. He has just been like, even before the thing happens, everything has sorted. But this last 2 weeks was just like, Tobi, I'm gonna finish you. But it wasn't that bad, Sha. Now it's not that bad, but then it seemed like a very big problem for me. I think the point of this video is I'm just trying to say the things that were on my mind at that time and how I kind of like got through it. So I think one challenge was, it was so big, it felt like I'm not going to overcome it. Or it just felt like whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I'm going to bed. At that time, it was a money issue. Anyways, but I don't know if that's important. I couldn't get the money. Or I couldn't get the resources I need. Most of it was even favor, not just even money. I just needed time. But I prayed and I just had doubt in my mind. I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen. But I knew that God was going to do it. But when was God going to do it? I don't know. Was I going to be able to meet the deadlines that I had? I didn't know. So I was overwhelmed. But the major thing that saw me through during that period was basically my relationship with God before that time. So I think it's very important to just have a solid relationship with God. It doesn't have to look like our Jews' relationship or all these big pastors' relationship with God, but some kind of steady, consistent loyalty or commitment to God before that time. So that actually saw me through, because most times when I wake up in the morning, I must have my quiet time with God. So it was like a routine. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, this problem is still there. But I had to have my quiet time. I had to read my Bible. I had to listen to that YouVersion message, and somehow, even though my instinct was to run away or to just hide, somehow within that routine that I had, God will always find a way to speak to me or just speak to the situation that I'm currently having. Like, okay, the verses that kept on coming at me at that time was like Jeremiah 33 verse 27. Is there anything too hard for God? Behold, I am God, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too difficult for me? Those kind of verses were just coming at me. And then the other one of, I think it was Philippians 4 verse 6 and 7. I think it says something about just not being anxious, and in all times just rejoice. I think that's verse 4. But those kind of verses, it's very difficult that if you have a routine, it's very difficult for you not to get something, just to get a word from God that says, I am with you. So even in our waiting period, I don't think there's a complete silence from God, especially if we don't run away. There are times I've run away, times that it was so bad, I'm just like, I'm not doing my devotion this morning. But somehow, you just have to, somehow, even when you run away, I believe the Spirit of God still draws us back to His presence. Especially, you shouldn't run away too much. That's why it's good to also have friends that are godly friends, even though everybody last, all of us, it's God that is helping all of us, but people that sometimes God will speak to you through, people that sometimes maybe they're having their own quiet time, their own consistent time with God. a word might drop in their heart for you. They might not even know what you're going through, but at that time they might actually call you. They might be gisting, but there's something else you just kind of like slip through the crack. So for me, I did my devotion. I had words like that, and those words actually encouraged me. And also because sometimes when you are in that difficult time, if you have been like doing Bible study before that time, it's so much more easier for the Holy Spirit to drop like some words in your mind, even though you're overwhelmed by this problem. Things like I am with you, or things like patience, things like the thoughts of God for us are of good and not of evil. There's an expected end, so the end is not going to be that you're going to be ashamed, but the end will be that the will of God, however that looks like, would be your portion. And that thing I used to do is I sleep a lot when I'm having issues. I sleep a lot on a normal day. I don't think it's a lot, but I criticize myself for that. I know it, but I sleep a lot when it comes to problems. Oh my God, I'm just like, God, handle it. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. That skit of Daniel slept in the lion's den. Peter slept in, or was it Peter? Or was it Paul? I think it was Peter, yes. Slept in jail when he had an issue and the angel came for him. I will sleep. So that when I wake up, God may have done something. And it happened like that for me. Most times when I sleep and I wake up, that sleeping is like, God, I can't handle it. You handle it. I'm going to bed. When I wake up, there's always signs that God has done something. So, and I think the last thing that I also like to touch on is difficult times actually shaping us and our relationship with God. Because in my own personal experiences, I realized that difficult times are when we have that God has our full attention, right? So, most times when we are experiencing our testimony, like we've asked God for something, He has done it, and we're just, bubbling all over the place. There's so many programs. You're enjoying your testimony. Sometimes the prayer is not like routine. It's not like, God, please, I need your help. I'm yearning for you. Do this. But that tough time is what tests your faith. It tests everything. So for me, difficult times are the times that I have inched or gone closer. I mean, it's not really a good thing, but I think it's normal for us as human beings. That's when you need God the most, and that's when God has our full attention, and that's when it's like, yeah, I have your full attention now. So, how's your faith looking like? How's your humility looking like? I'll be humble when I have problems. What's your humility looking like? What's your meekness looking like? That's when God shows us that we are not an island. You cannot be by yourself. You need people. I grew to a point where I was just enjoying the mercies of God. It almost felt as if I didn't need people. Well, at the end of the day, time and time again, when I have problems or I have challenges, let me stop saying problems. When I have challenges, God just shows me that I will use people for you. I might even use organizations for you. Organizations that you don't even know people there. And favor sometimes comes from there. So it's just God showing Himself time and time again that He is God. And you are not self-sufficient. Only God has that self-sufficiency. So that's one. And then another thing is, when you have those challenges, the right way to do it is to read your Bible more, inch closer to God, pray more. Your spirituality is much more alert. Your prayer altar is awake. So at times like that, God shapens us. At times like that, we are we get more confident after God has answered the prayer. But most times I get it before God answers that prayer, though. That we are much more confident that God is with us. That's my experience. And right now I am in my testimony period, even though I'm still doing life. Life is still doing me sometimes. But what I needed God to do, He did it, and I think one thing for me is these steps of being among godly friends, doing my quiet time, reading my Bible, having mentors, pastors that are mentors, or they later on become your friends, so they're like part of my godly friends and all that. It helps. It helped me, and by the time, even before my prayer was answered, I just had this peace. The peace that was promised in Philippians 4, like the peace of God just took over, and I just knew that God go run now. I hope my experiences help someone out there, more than one person out there. And the 3 key things that you can take away from this video would be what the things you should do during your waiting time. Do not shy away from that quiet time or devotion time that you would normally do. And if you don't do your devotion or quiet time, I'll encourage you that this is what you should actually do. Having a set time for God during your day, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, it's a very important appointment. Don't miss it. Then secondly, Bible study. The words that, or the Bible study you've done in the past would actually come to help you during your time of crisis or time of challenges or your waiting period. So Bible study is very important, and also Bible memorization. There are some key ones, like you don't have to know everything, maybe 1 or 2 that you can always hold on to. No matter the challenges that you face, you can always hold on to it. My personal favorite is Exodus 33 verse 14. Behold, I will go with you, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. So no matter what I'm going through, I always hold on to it, that God will actually go with me and He will give me rest. If what I'm facing doesn't look like rest, God, change it, please. Then the third one I would say is surround yourself with people that would not, most likely don't give you bad advice, but God can possibly use to speak to you during your tough times. And extra tip, have faith even in like tough times. Hopefully, I don't know, depending on the roller coaster God decides to take me through every season, I would just like to like drop like a bit of what I've gone through and kind of how I went through it. I'm hoping that I go through it in the right way, but even if I make mistakes, I hope to like share them, and maybe hopefully it will help somebody out there to maybe not make those mistakes, and maybe also learn from my mistakes and do maybe the right things that I do. Maybe we'll see. To lose. Oh God, I beg. Oh, okay. So, alright, we just go, right? Yeah. Hi everyone, Tobi here. Some of the struggles that we face as Christians during. Is that good? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stammering, but okay.